Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty and today's video I'm talking you through my journal lineup, get it the right way around, my journal lineup for 2024. In previous years, I've had lots and lots and lots of journals, and every year I kind of go crazy with them. But this year, I want to keep it a little bit more simple. So really, when I talk about journaling and I'm sort of talking about things that I'm going to write in regularly as like reflective or whatever journaling, I have 3. The other 2 in here are kind of just very vague and I'll just quickly talk about them. So the 2 kind of just sort of sidey ones are these 2, and it's just basically, this one is going to be my reading, my booktube planning, and it's almost full, to be honest. It's probably going to need replacing within the first couple of months. Any readathons that I take part in, all the planning goes in here and I pick up my prompts in here. Ideas that I have for vlogs go in here. My planning for Bookmas has gone in here. So this is just my generic YouTube planning video. And then we have this notebook, which is my recipe book, as I call it, for my candles. These were all scattered around in 2 or 3 notebooks, and now I've just got it very nicely written out, what all the amounts are, what all the scents are, how much I need for each one, and it just makes my life so much easier when I am making the candles to have this on the desk propped open so I can just see it in front of me. And it's got so many pages for me to add things to in the future. So it's just kind of like, not really journals, but I wanted to at least mention them because they will be quite prevalent notebooks in my year. But the actual major journals that I will be using for journaling, we have my journal. So this is the one that I write in. I only wrote in it about 3 times in 2023, largely because I started it in 2022, and the date I started it was the day after my birthday, and that was only 5 days after my engagement ended and I had that really horrific breakup. So as you can probably imagine, there is a lot in here that is very negative. There's a lot of really self-depressing moments. There's like, I self-deprecate a lot. I sort of wonder about why I'm such a failure. I focus on all the bad stuff going on. There's a lot of crying and tears and emotion that went into it, and it's just one of those things that, against my better judgment, I keep opening it to write, and then I immediately start flicking back and reliving those memories, which isn't great. I am going to really try to put more of a focus on positive things. Obviously, life has bad things, and I will be reflecting on those, but I'm also still going to try and approach it with a, this bad thing has happened, however, I'm going to learn these lessons from it, or I'm going to take this away from it. I would say 90% of the time when I write in my journal, it's because I'm in a bad mood and I'm venting, and I now want to try and flip that so that it's more, it's probably never going to get to 90% positive, but I would at least like to get it a little bit more 50-50 so that there's a slightly healthier balance. And when I'm reading through, there will be just as much that will make me smile as will make me maybe have some sad emotions. And it's like, I play The Sims a lot, and I will admit there's like a thing that the children can do where they write in their journal to control their emotions. And one of the actions you can do on the journal is to read it through, and sometimes it gives them really negative moodlets. And I was like, wow, okay. And it's like, I feel like a sim when I read through my journal, because all of a sudden I'll be in a really good mood and then I'll read through my journal and I'll just be like, woof. And if I'm even slightly feeling vulnerable that day, it will throw me into a spin. And so, yeah, I really just want to try to avoid doing that to myself and really try to hype myself up as much as I can. I'm not really a big affirmations kind of girl, but I definitely want to try and reinforce things more positively with myself, because I'm a little bit tired of seeing myself as a failure, and I need to start celebrating my successes, no matter how small that may be. Next up, we have the other, like the 2 what I call biggie journals, and those are my bullet journal and my reading journal. I will quickly talk about the reading journal because we will be getting a full video of that very soon, but I went with this notebook from Notebook Therapy. Look at how cute those edges are. I absolutely I'm invested and I am obsessed. I have like all my goals ready. I am working on like all my bookshelves. I'm not showing you too much because obviously you guys will see it soon. But, you know, we've got some spreads ready. Most of it's ready to go. And this is where I will log my reading, my books, and I'm going to continue with the format that I chose this year, which was to actually write about the books rather than just say, oh, I read them, and just have them as pretty spreads and have loads of stats every month. Instead, I've been writing them as journal entries. I did have a blip this year where I went about 6 months where I didn't write anything, but now I'm back into it again and I'm really enjoying it. So if we look back at, say, 2021's journal, or is this 2022? This is 2022. It's just every month was not really well filled in, to be honest. All of the months were just kind of, you know, just pretty spreads with things that I filled in and just my TBR. And it felt more like a checklist every month of just filling in tables and filling in stats. I'm not disparaging that at all. But this year I took the approach of I had my yearly spreads and my yearly overviews, and then I've actually been writing it as a proper journal. And you can see I've like got my thoughts and my reflections. And I feel like I'm getting a much rawer sense of what I've been reading, and I'm getting more on the spot reactions. So when it comes to sort of videos now where I'm talking about the worst and best books of the year, I can read through these and be refreshed on how I felt at the time compared to how I feel now. So it's just a nice little in the moment snapshot reflection, and that's what I'm going to be continuing on with this. And then my bullet journal, which I am going to talk way more in depth again and do a flip through probably in a couple of weeks. And again, doing it slightly differently because of budget and things like that. I wasn't able to buy a brand new journal this year. So I went through all of my old journals until I found this one. This one was one that I used last year at the start of the year as like my memory journal, and I was just tracking things that were happening, and I'd set up things that I wanted to do through the year, like movies and stuff like that. But again, obviously we all know what happened last year, and it ended up I just couldn't face filling it in, and I still had all of this left, so nearly the entire book was remaining. So I've decided that this year I'm going to use this for my bullet journal, and I'm also changing how I do my bullet journal. I'm not going to be doing the typical bullet journaling in the sense of having all of my weeklies and my monthlies and calendars and all the planning side in there. There'll be a couple of spreads where I've got like birthdays just to help me remember when I'm out and about. All of that stuff will be transferring, and I will be doing that on my computer from now on. I've created a spreadsheet. I've started using it this month, and it's already making a big difference in the way I work on projects, and I'm already becoming way more productive doing it. So I'm now going digital in terms of my planning and organising of my life. But what I want to do is have this as kind of similar to the written journal where I'll be writing about what's been going on. But this one is going to be more in terms of like my physical health. I'll be tracking my habits. I will be also keeping a track of things like what K-drama am I watching, because I'm now watching them so much that I'm forgetting what I have watched and what I thought about them. So I'm going to be sort of doing like a monthly, these are all the K-drama that I watch. These are the K-pop artists that I'm now following and listening to. At the end of each month, I will do my snapshot. I will still do a monthly calendar, and there will be some planning stuff in here. But I want this to be more of almost like a scrapbook and memory reflection, but more visual. And I did sort of make the comment of, can it even be considered a bullet journal anymore? But there are also going to be things that I will be tracking in here that will be quite important and useful, that are a bit more difficult to track on the computer. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a hybrid journal between a bullet journal and a memory keeping journal. And I am quite excited. That is going to be the journal, and if I fill this up, I'll obviously get another one later in the year. Editing Kirsty, very quickly popping in because two of these that I talk about, the idea behind them is still the same. One will be reflective journaling, one will be my bullet journal. However, the specific journals that I'm holding up and talking about here will no longer be the ones that I am using. So that's the green one and the red one. I won't be using those specific journals. There's various things in them that are bringing back memories, and I just feel like I don't need to go into a new year with those memories hanging over my head. So I've decided I will be buying brand new, starting fresh journals. So if you see a different journal next year to the ones that I hold up, that's why. That is my journal / notebook lineup for 2024. It's not as elaborate as it can be, and it's not as intensive as it has been in the past, but like I said, a lot of my planning is moving more digital, and I'm finding that it's creating a lot less stress on myself, and I don't then have that pressure to create these elaborate, beautiful spreads every single month that I'm then not going to use, and I'm just wasting my time. You'll hear a little bit more about that in the separate video, so I apologise if you do hear the same thing over again, but some of this stuff does overlap. Let me know in the comments which of those journals was your favourite, and are you going to be using any journaling systems for yourself in 2024? Let me know what you're going to be getting up to. I hope you're all good, I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video. Bye!